There we go. See? Don't trust me with a PC. Just don't.
Good evening. Would you all stand for a pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Mayor?
Here.
First ward's excused. Second ward? Here. Third ward?
Here.
Fourth ward?
Present.
Fifth ward?
Here.
Sixth ward?
Here.
Roll's been called. First item we have is a mayoral proclamation for Mental Health Awareness Month. Whereas mental health is a vital component of overall health and wellness, affecting individuals of all ages, backgrounds, and walks of life. Whereas the National Institute of Mental Health reports that nearly 1 in 5 adults in the United States experience a mental illness each year, underscoring the importance of accessible support and open conversations. Whereas the City of Fulton stands united in its commitment to fostering a community that supports mental well-being, breaks down stigma, and provides resources for those in need. And whereas the efforts of local partners such as the Oswego County Suicide Prevention Coalition and Oswego Health are critical in promoting awareness, providing life-saving services, and offering hope to individuals and families impacted by mental health challenges. Whereas Mental Health Awareness Month is an opportunity for our community to come together and support mental health education, recognize the efforts of advocates and professionals, and remind all residents that help is available and healing is possible. Now therefore, James Rice, Mayor of the City of Fulton, does hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month in the City of Fulton, and urges all citizens to increase awareness, participate in mental health initiatives, and show compassion for struggling people. Together, we can make Fulton a place where everyone feels seen, supported, and empowered to seek help.
So I have Lisa, Karen, and Carol to come to accept this.
So my name is Lisa Mateen, and I'm the manager of the Suicide Prevention Coalition, and actually here is also a member of this coalition here. And what we're doing is really trying to provide education and information for people regarding mental health and mental health awareness. Because there is Mental Health Awareness kindness, and so we have kindness gardens. I don't know if any of you have seen them. They're in all the libraries in Oswego County. We've got some coffee shops in Fulton. And it's, an opportunity for people to write kind words, and if you're having a bad day, take a flower or put a flower in. Again, just to recognize them, how important it is to be kind to others and to yourself. I also wanted to take this opportunity to thank the city of Fulton for one of the initiatives that we did as a coalition was requested some signs on the lower bridge that have the suicide prevention hotline number, which is 988. And if anyone's ever seen them, you cross the bridge, they're on either side of the bridge of the lower bridge. And we're really grateful for the city of Fulton for supporting us in doing that, because that's a really important thing. I get lots of comments. So thank you very much for that. So yeah, we do a lot of environmental prevention, and we're grateful to be here. Thank you.
Next, we have a mayoral proclamation for Community Action Month. Whereas Community Action creates pathways to prosperity by helping hardworking families achieve economic independence rather than keeping them reliant on government assistance. And whereas Community Action is built on initiative, responsive, and efficient programs that are uniquely tailored to meet local needs. And whereas Community Action delivers high-impact, cost-effective results that generate a significant return on investment for local communities. Whereas Community Action invests in private sector job creation and career training, ensuring that communities grow through free market solutions. Whereas Community Action agencies are trusted pillars of the community that engage volunteers who donate their time to advance local progress, support working families, and contribute to lasting community success. Whereas Community Action programs are both necessary and popular, delivering effective, high-quality assistance that strengthens community resilience and fosters local prosperity. And whereas Oswego County Opportunities, Inc., OCO, is proudly celebrating 60 years of service, marking 6 decades of dedicated action and a lifetime of impact within our community. Now therefore, James Rice, Mayor of the City of Fulton, does hereby proclaim May 2026 as Community Action Month in recognition of the hard work and dedication of all Fulton, New York Community Action agencies, and in special recognition of OCO's milestone anniversary.
To thank you, Mr. Mayor, thank you to the common council. My colleagues and I from Oswego County Opportunities are very honored to be here tonight and to help serve the communities of Oswego County, and especially here in Fulton, where we have our headquarters. I want to speak a little bit about community action and what it means. Community action has been going for over 60 years all over the United States, national movement to bring communities together with the government, together with the private sector, and try to find solutions for the problems that face individual communities everywhere. The purpose is for us to be able to conduct assessments and tailor the responses to the needs that our communities have. At Oswego County Opportunities, we're very proud to have been a leader in this area since 1966. We recognize that the problems that we're facing today are not the same as from 1966, and they will continue to change. And that's our purpose, is to adjust with the times and to meet the needs of our community. I also want, for the record, just to make clear that anyone who is in need, or if anybody wants to make a referral, they can call our office or go to our website, www.oco.org. We have a single intake line. It's It's not necessary to know which specific grant and which specific program and which acronym is needed for them. If somebody calls, then we can, and it explains their situation. We have people ready to direct them to the right place. Thank you very much for this honor. We look forward to working with you for the next 6 years.
Thank you, Kevin.
Next, we have a presentation to the council and community from the Siemens Energy Project update.
Come back here so the public can see. Okay, everybody can see the screen now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, good evening. My name is Chris Catt from Siemens Smart Infrastructure. Joining me is Bill Casey. Bill leads our project assurance group. As many of the folks here in this group know, Siemens embarked on an energy performance contract with the city of Fulton. And tonight is really exciting because we get to share some of those results that we're seeing directly in construction. So one of the things that makes energy performance contracting and performance contracting different than other sorts of processes and other sorts of contracting mechanisms that you see is what we call performance assurance. So that's how we track, verify, and report back to you, the taxpayers and council and leadership of the city, how this project is performing. Are we saving energy? Are we reaching our goals? Is what we installed measuring up and delivering value for the residents of Fulton? Everyone has heard this phrase before, but in God we trust, all others bring data. Tonight is the part of the project where we start bringing you data. So real briefly, the EPC project impacted a number of city facilities, included taking over and buying out the National Grid street lights, certainly War Memorial, as well as lighting, building envelope improvements across your entire portfolio. Construction is on track. Many of these, actually most of these improvements have already been completed, and the rest are slated to be completed over the next several months. Performance assurance will start on May 1st of 2026. That's when we continue to monitor and guarantee those savings. That said, we've also been monitoring in construction and making sure everything is performing the way we thought it would perform. Real briefly, your project has received a number of grants and incentives, including $250,000 from the New York State Legislature, as well as National Grid lighting incentives of over $35,000 for upgrading to energy efficient LED. And one item we're still waiting on is NYSERDA Clean Communities. That program is currently closed pending the state budget, but just as soon as that opens, we will certainly be submitting your project to receive the requisite number of points in the accompanying funding.
All right, and not sure how that happened, but we'll be back to where we were there. All right, so we went through and looked at all the FIMs, so facility improvement measures, or we call them FIMs for short, the projects that we do. And each of those FIMs were completed at different times. So as those FIMs were completed, we started counting the construction savings from that point forward based on any measurements that we needed to take. And that process will be ongoing. Performance assurance and the measurements required to verify savings for these FIMs happens over the course of the guarantee. But we've got a pretty good idea for many of these. And overall, to date, FIMs were completed, some of them all the way back to 2022. There were furnace replacements, for example, at the War Memorial. And then most others were completed from the time frame of like last April on through, like Chris said, there's still some being completed and some that were completed over the course of the spring. So in total, when you add all that up, we're already seeing a total of $259,000, just under $259,000 in savings, which is great. This is a guaranteed project, and once we enter the guarantee, The annual guarantee is on the order of $273,000 a year. So in construction savings alone, before guaranteed savings have even been guaranteed, we're almost achieving the annual guarantee that's expected for the project. The energy savings is listed here, as you can see, are 230,000 kWh over that construction period so far, and then the 1,390 therms to date so far. And then just to kind of give you a highlight of what facilities were impacted, it's a little bit skewed here, but the big line on the top, that's the streetlights. That was really the key driver for this project. And municipalities can really benefit from buying the poles, so to speak, and owning the streetlights themselves, as opposed to having to rent them, so to speak, from the utilities. They charge a hefty fee for that. And it makes a lot of sense, especially these days, to convert those over to LED lighting and have the city own them. Of course, I get a phone call from my son in the middle of the presentation. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's really the core of the project and what's really driving those savings. But once that tariff is changed over and they're benefiting from that new tariff from the utilities, it lowers the cost of maintaining and operating those street lights, and that's where the bulk of those savings are coming from.
The one thing that was really exciting too, I know for many residents, city and certainly city leadership, was the ice rink, right? So the rink is a city-owned asset, which the city is responsible for maintaining, but getting that chiller replaced before the end of its useful life and making sure that we don't miss a season, et cetera, especially with delays in equipment. When we talk about lighting, right, this is all new LED lighting, which saves energy and is more efficient. And then one of the more impactful items, at least some feedback we've gotten from the staff of the city, is the destratification fans at War Memorial. So most people would never notice them, but they're up in the ceiling and they're pushing that hot air down to keep the moisture off the floor so the gym can be usable for more days of the year and people can be comfortable. And then in the wintertime, pushing that hot air down obviously helps with energy, right? So,
yeah, great example. So there's a few other buildings I just want to highlight. The City Hall here benefited significantly from energy savings, from lighting upgrades, building envelope improvements, programmable thermostats that will allow for automatic setbacks, and I think there were some smaller savings from vending misers that were installed to basically shut off vending machines at night when they're not being used. And then you can go on down the list. The ice rink.
Ice rink, DPW.
The ice rink was a big one. The War Memorial. The ice rink, we replaced the chiller there, improving the ice quality and reliability for the hockey and skating season this year. That equipment was installed and operational by November, just in time for the high school hockey season. So that was good. So those are some of the highlights in terms of buildings that were impacted. And this highlights, obviously streetlights aren't a building, so they kind of show up on both of these. This, what's referred to as electricity procurement, the second one down, is part of the lease buyout, which contributes to the savings associated with those streetlights. And then lighting upgrades across the facility totaling about $20,000 to date at several facilities, again, including the City Hall here. And then a couple of the other big hitters here, I can see, I guess, better here. Again, the chiller, saving about $2,500 a year at the ice rink, and the furnace upgrades at the War Memorial, which were done all the way back in 2022. And then, the others are smaller pieces of the project, but worth noting: building envelope improvements, programmable thermostats, the D-strat fans, smaller in energy savings, but huge in comfort, as Chris just pointed out. There were window replacements, some infrared heating, and vending machine controls, and some parking lot lighting there as well. So a big part of this project is the operational savings associated with that lighting lease buyout and the street lights, as I mentioned here, that's totaling $200,000. Some of the other operational savings we were able, as part of the project, to allow the city to not renew a Honeywell service contract that is no longer needed as part of the conversion in this project, and then the reduced maintenance required associated with the new furnaces at the War Memorial that saved another $3,400. So just in summary, again, in terms of just raw energy savings, about 230,000 kWh to date, and close to 1,400 therms.
Our plan is to, obviously, we continue to monitor your energy consumption and how these different facility improvement measures are performing, and continue to report back to you, the council, and to the city staff. So we're continuously monitoring that. That's going to occur for the life of the contract. So this wouldn't have been possible without the leadership of the mayor, the council, and certainly the great staff the city has who've been helpful and supportive throughout. Other items that potentially looking at into the future, we've been exploring some grants with the city to potentially make some additional improvements and bring some additional dollars to Fulton to improve infrastructure. We're really, Siemens has had a long-term relationship with Fulton School District for over 20 years, and whatever we can do to support you and keeping the community a great place to live. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, committee of those.
Yep. Start with the mayor, personnel committee.
So much of the personnel committee, of course, we can't share publicly. Most of the meeting was executive session. However, I know the committee was given updates on our employee benefits. I don't know if we've done that in the past during the year because we're self-insured. I know the Finance Audit Budget Committee also received the similar update. So that's probably the most significant thing in the come out of personnel.
Okay. Councilor Campolito, Legislative Public Safety and Recreation.
Now, if Siemens could get us a good microphone that stays on. This thing's been flipping off on me, so it doesn't stay on. My apologies. Legislative Committee, as you can see, we have several public hearings listed this evening. That has been the past month's work and previous month's work. Look forward to your comments on any and all of those items. This next month we'll be meeting and reviewing those things that we've been able to pass and put to the charter practice or year to date.
Well, before I'll shut up, I can shut up.
Yeah. We'll look to identify some priorities for the next 2 or 3 months in terms of things we can. Thank you, Mayor. Things we can bring to the table. Sorry. Let me go on to public safety. We, as a committee, we reviewed more data regarding nuisance calls and EMS calls in general. We continue to look forward to closing that process out in another month's meeting time. We are we're under the process currently of reviewing several other cities' EMS alarm codes, calls, what their policies are, and what our future, to consider what our future policies might look like. And that group's been quite active with that. We reviewed some data to include Mentor's ambulance calls. So we've gone through a period of time where we're collecting data, but we expect to close that process soon and start to take a look at the language for some updated policy for the charter in the area of alarm, false alarm codes, nuisance calls, and so forth. And for the Recreation Committee, I temporarily sat in for John Iorio resigned, and I will be passing my attendance to Dennis Molino, future board counselor. They are currently reviewing some rules and regulations that the state might have related to some future signage near Broadway, Route 3 corridor. And kind of in limbo in that they got down to counselor, but last couple of days we've spent a great deal of time with some planning in the recreation and parks area, and the committee members there. And these are some opportunities for the future with some federal partners, funding. That was pretty exciting. We had a really good, solid couple of days. And Chris is here, but he had coordinated that. That's a grant, a planning grant that we received. Very, very well received by the community, and we had good attendance last evening, today as well, members of the community. So we look forward to continuing conversation with that group to help also steer some of the Parks and Recreation community focus for the future.
Thank you.
Counselor Sherman, audit, finance, and budget.
Yeah, I'm going to cross back over into the public safety area. We've been meeting with the fire chief and the other groups. Fire chief was in a few weeks ago regarding the audit and finance committee discussing call volumes. And my concern is that we may see an increase in call volumes from previous years because we're getting an increase of people placed in the community by the county and or state. There's definitely a cost that's got to be factored in on that. And it's a cost that's going to directly hit and impact the taxpayer. And I'm figuring that we need to look at it as what we are paying, or what would we charge if we were a business, what would we charge to go on a police call and or a fire call? Okay, we are we have support for the ambulance service. They have their own fee structure. We don't have that fee structure, and I want to look at what we would charge to go on a call and put a value on that, because I want to put my hand out to the county and or state and say, listen, this is an added cost on our taxpayer that we didn't ask for. And if we look at it as, well, let's just charge them by estimate numbers, $1,000 on a call, personnel, equipment, so on and so forth, time that we are on site. I think $1,000 might actually be low, but that puts us in an area of about $3 million that's an added cost to the taxpayer of this community because of an outside entity that's placing a situation. I'm not saying that we need to eliminate the situation, eliminate the people that this impacts. What I'm saying is that somebody's got to pay for it. And I don't think it should be on the full taxpayer. We didn't ask for this here. So this is where I'm looking as far as audit finance. It really hasn't hit our numbers yet as far as solid line item number, but it's definitely a number that's going to be out there that we're going to pay for. So that's, I want to look into more about, I want to get a little deeper into the call volume, where those call volumes are happening. We had the top 3 on our list in the last safety meeting. I want to see the top 10 or top 15. So I think that will give us a stronger idea of how much it's costing the city taxpayer to support these programs that are being put into the city. We're not in charge of programs, okay, but we're supporting the people that are involved in these programs, and we are supporting them with our services. And I don't think it should be completely on the taxpayer of City of Fulton. So that's where we are right now, audit finance. We have had a proposal in on the Bullhead Point. We are going to be reviewing that tomorrow, and hopefully we will have that resolved shortly as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mark.
Item number 1, public hearing relative to amending Schedule A zoning district rules and regulations in the city code. Whereas at the meeting held on April 7, 2026, the city clerk Chamberlain was authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on May 5th in the Common Council chambers of the Municipal Building, Fulton, New York, relative to amending Schedule A zoning district rules and regulations in the city code. Whereas at the May 5th, 2026 Common Council meeting, Mayor Rice declared this public hearing open.
And I'm the only one signed up to speak. Anyone from the council?
Yeah, this is another pet peeve of mine. I strongly oppose it. Full disclosure, I do have a property that this would impact, but I'm also here to speak for other business owners that this may also impact. So I will be voting up or down on this. Just so I am disclosing right now that yes, it will impact the property that I do own. But I think it's something we really need to look at and say, I don't think we need to put more hurdles in front of businesses in the community. I think we have enough hurdles. I'm hearing it from small businesses right now that, you know, they can go into, they have businesses in Syracuse. They're trying to come and open places here in Fulton, and they're running into a lot of hurdles to get over that they don't run into in cities like Syracuse. And they don't understand why Fulton seems to be much more strict on a lot of things that are, you know, basically not overlooked in Syracuse, but are not something that's going to stop them from doing business. And I think that so I'm going to say right now I'm going to vote thumbs down on this one. We will. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I do support the proposed changes because I think it's important that new constructions have enough space for fire lanes. I think the safety of the public should be a consideration. I think the properties can still be profitable. I think they can still be very feasible. We want to make sure that the new construction that goes into the Nestle sites has sufficient access for the fire safety equipment. That's the main push for this. I just think that will be very, very important for the public safety. Thank you.
The setbacks have already been put in place for the Nestle property. This is going over and above. This is going to affect a lot of other properties outside the city. So the Nestle property really, this really doesn't impact that. That property has already been rezoned. What this is going to do or potentially do on small commercial properties. See, this is great. If the city of Fulton had large commercial properties like that are in Oswego, on the outskirts of the town, inside the city limits, so say where Walmart is, and the larger, like where the old Big Lot store, they can get fully around those properties, those buildings. But here on the smaller in-community sites, you're not going to get around them. If you try to get around them, you're basically eliminating the site from commercial development altogether. And generally, you're looking at a small building anyway on these properties, so you can treat that fire, especially with an aerial, over the top, okay, of the structure, and still be able to manipulate and handle whatever fire is going on inside the structure. So I really think that it's an undue and unneeded restriction at this point. The city's been in existence since, what, 1902, and suddenly 2026, it's a big problem. We have better equipment today. We're not pulling fire wagons with horses. We've got ladders that'll reach 10 stories. I just don't see a need for this. We've got, like I said, we've got more manpower. And the cost here could be lost in business. And I really think that's where I'm coming from. So I'm still going to be a no. Thank you.
Yeah, and the existing properties are grandfathered in exempt.
Yes.
This would just be for the new construction that they're still looking at the Nestle property. Thank you.
The proposed setback standards do not impact all existing and future businesses. That's unequivocally false information. The purpose of the proposed amendment is to correct a long-standing gap in the zoning code. Specifically, that several commercial and manufacturing zoning districts currently do not have defined setback requirements at all. The downtown district operates under an entirely different zoning framework, establishing its own setback and development standards, separate from the governing commercial and manufacturing districts citywide. Again, unequivocally false that this amendment poses any change for the downtown district. Additionally, existing structures are protected under City Fulton Code 640-39, which allows any building that is damaged or destroyed by natural causes to be rebuilt in the same footprint, provided a permit is obtained and reconstruction occurs within 12 months. Property owners are not penalized due to circumstances beyond their control. These proposed standards are for new construction and are intended to bring clarity, predictability, and consistency to the zoning administration while continuing to protect existing businesses and property rights.
So it's my understanding that if you needed a variance, it's still available to you to apply for a variance. Should you need to do that. Let's move on.
Whereas at the May 5th Common Council meeting, Mayor Rice declared Whereas members of the public, members of the Common Council, and all in attendance have been given an equal opportunity to express their written or oral comments regarding the proposed amendment to the city code. Whereas Mayor Rice asked for a motion to close the public hearing. May I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council approves the proposed amendment of Schedule A zoning district rules and regulations in the city code. May I have a motion?
Motion.
A second?
Second.
Okay, gonna do a roll call vote. First ward's excused, second ward,
Yes.
third ward,
Yes.
fourth ward,
No.
fifth ward,
Yes.
sixth ward,
Yes.
motion carried. Item number 2, public hearing relative to amending chapter 640-3, word usage definitions in the city code, definition of family. Whereas at a meeting held on April 7, 2026, the city clerk Chamberlain was authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on May 5, 2026 in the Common Council chambers of the Municipal Building, Fulton, New York. Relative to amending chapter 640-3, word usage definitions, definition of family in the city code. Whereas at the May 5th, 2026 Common Council meeting, Mayor Rice declared this public hearing open.
Anyone from the council on this one?
Also recommendation again from Planning Commission. It's putting us in line with,
Speak up, please.
sorry, it's putting us in line with the mental health code. It's recommendation coming from the Planning Committee that we just simply add this definition to the chapter 640-3.
It's going to add one sentence to the definition. So it's going to add a sentence granting the Planning Commission an opportunity to make a recommendation to the Common Council after a review of any proposal or proposed community resident, family care home, or group home established pursuant to the New York State Mental Hygiene Law and governed by the Fair Housing Act, and in compliance with New York Mental Hygiene Law 41 to 34. Basically what this is we added a sentence so that any additional group homes that come into the city are going to have to get approval from the Planning Commission and a recommendation passed on to the Common Council.
Whereas members of the public, members of the Common Council, and all in attendance have been given an equal opportunity to express their written or oral comments regarding the proposed amendment to the city code. Whereas Mayor Rice asked for a motion to close the public hearing. May I have a motion?
Motion.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council approves the proposed amendment to chapter 640-3, word usage definitions definition of family in the city code. May I have a motion? Counselor Clash and Counselor Capolita. First ward's excused. Second ward?
Yes.
Third ward?
Yes.
Fourth ward?
Yes.
Fifth ward?
Yes.
Sixth ward?
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 3, public hearing relative to amending chapter 6, or C70-6E, receptacles and containers. Whereas at the meeting held on April 21st, 2026, the city clerk Chamberlain was authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on May 5th, 2026, in the Common Council chambers of the municipal building, Fulton, New York, relative to amending chapter C70-6E, receptacles and containers in the city code. Whereas at the May 5th, 2026 Common Council meeting, Mayor Rice declared this public hearing open.
Jim Trowbridge, 505 Rochester Street.
This says clear plastic bags. Many years ago, it was almost impossible to find clear plastic bags. So you went with a semi, it was a white plastic bag. You could almost see through it, but you couldn't because it was almost impossible to find clear plastic. And I believe that's still the same thing today. And that was acceptable. So if it's still clear plastic, everybody that's using those, you won't be able to put out your garbage anymore. That was my main point, but this touches on another thing. I know it's not on the definitions, but what enforces this? Is it the DPW? I know code says it's storage, but if somebody puts their garbage out too early, if they don't have lids on it, if they have garbage hanging out, who enforces that?
So the too early, they actually took it out of the code quite some time ago.
No, it's still 6 o'clock.
No, they took it out. We looked into that.
Really?
Yeah,
I
last year.
just saw it before I came down.
Yeah, they actually took that out. So,
You can put it out 2 days before
we hope not.
because it's happening right now. And I know this isn't under definitions, but it touches on this, and this has always been a point of contention. Code has a storage of trash, but this seemed to be a DPW thing. And if you can't enforce this, or if there's no mechanism, no tickets, or a notice on the door, or whatever, there's no reason to even have it in there. And I would suggest taking this still. You got better definitions, and put something else in there. Thank you.
Anyone from the council?
Got a couple concerns. One, I agree, not every bag is clear. We could do better with that. Two, it's been brought to my attention that 32 gallons may not be big enough. Some containers are larger than 32 gallons. I think actually mine might be 44 gallons. I don't know if we want to limit it to that. I'm sure it was there because of potential weight issues and the lifting of it.
In 1996.
Yeah, maybe that's all they made in 1996. I don't know. But I've seen 64-gallon containers with the lids that are being lifted up. And I think what we really wanted to do is make sure that we do it once and do it right here. And more than happy to continue to take a look at this. And hopefully we can take a look at this and discuss these things without Facebook war over the issue. Because I'm not interested in that. Oops, sorry. So, you know, we can hear any other comments on this, but I just assume leave it open.
I did just want to clarify that it's only for this, the only change happening on this resolution is pertaining to yard waste in letter E. And the only thing that changed was the removal of the requirement to put it in a newspaper.
Correct.
I just want to make sure we all understand that.
Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna
I think the
change
other
it,
areas
maybe there's
would
other
be what?
changes that need to be made.
That's fine, I just want to make sure we understand.
32 gallons, that's a small, compared to today's standard garbage cans, it's very small, 32 gallons. And I do get the idea of the weight that it's gonna be in one of those larger, because those larger ones are usually set up for a mechanical truck to grab it, lift it, dump it, and then set it back down, and we don't have that capacity. So maybe, I don't know the solution to this, because I've seen a lot of people with those heavier trash cans because of animal issues. You know, the animals want to get in them, it's hard for them to chew those up. But the smaller ones, the animals chew the daylights out of them, and and if you get the metal ones, they get beat up so bad that, and you can't throw that away either. It becomes I can see the garbage can as a problem. So maybe we need to send this back and take a look at that a little more.
So do we want to leave the public hearing open and
We
review
can
that
leave it
a bit
open,
further?
you can leave it open.
Okay. That's good for me.
And as far as the bags go, I think that the term you were trying to look for was translucent.
Item number 4, public hearing relative to amending chapter 640-3, word usage definitions in the city code, definition of fitness center. Whereas at the meeting held on April 21st, 2026, the city clerk Chamberlain was authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on May 5th, 2026, in the Common Council chambers of the Municipal Building, Fulton, New York, relative to amending chapter 640-3, word usage definitions, definition of fitness center in the city code. Whereas at the May 5th, 2026 Common Council meeting, Mayor Rice declared this public hearing open.
Anyone from the council?
On fitness center? Yeah, we're just adding that as a definition. I think we'll have to follow that up by coming back and adding that as a use to the C2A zone. Right? Am I correct with that? Yep.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. And as Councilor Campolino mentioned, we don't have a fitness center definition contained in our code right now. So we're looking to.
What sparked it?
What sparked it? New development. So if we can get fitness center into the code, it will allow for new development of fitness centers, and the council can put it in any zone really. But there is a proposal on the table for a C2A district and a fitness center. Fitness center on the lower level and housing quarters on the top.
Whereas members of the public, members of the Common Council, and all in attendance have been given an equal opportunity to express their written or oral comments regarding the proposed amendment to the city code. Whereas Mayor Rice asked for a motion to close the public hearing. May I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council approves the proposed amendment of chapter 640-3, word usage, definitions, definition of fitness center in the city code. May I have a motion?
I'll move on.
Second.
Thank you. We're going to do a roll call vote. First ward's excused. Second ward?
Yes.
Third ward?
Yes.
Fourth ward?
Yes.
Fifth ward?
Yes.
Sixth ward?
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 5, public hearing relative to the addition of chapter C-233, prior written notice of defects in the city code. Whereas at a meeting held on April 21st, 2026, the city clerk Chamberlain was authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on May 5th, 2026 in the Common Council chambers of the Municipal Building, Fulton, New York, relative to the addition of Chapter C-233 entitled Prior Written Notice of Defects in the City Code. Whereas at the May 5th, 2026 Common Council meeting, Mayor Rice declared this public hearing open.
Anyone from the council?
This was reviewed by the legal. Talk
Yep.
about that? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it was reviewed by city attorney, and with his suggestion, number 6 kind of lines up the same. He suggested repealing number 6 and enacting number 5. So creating number 5, C-233, prior written notice of defects, will replace number 6. Thereby, we should subsequently remove section C-230-B. That's version number 6.
Whereas members of the public, members of the Common Council, and all in attendance have been given an equal opportunity to express their written or oral comments regarding the proposed amendment to the city code. Whereas Mayor Rice asked for a motion to close the public hearing. May I have a motion?
Move it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council approves the proposed addition of Chapter C-233 entitled Prior Written Notice of Defects in the City Code. May I have a motion?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, first ward's excused, second ward,
Yes.
third ward,
Yes.
fourth ward,
Yes.
fifth ward,
Yes.
sixth ward,
Yes.
motion carried. Item number 6, public hearing relative to the removal of section C-230B, limitation of actions in the city code. Whereas at the meeting held on April 21st, 2026, the city clerk Chamberlain was authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on May 5th, 2026 in the Common Council chambers of the Municipal Building, Fulton, New York, relative to the removal of section C-230B entitled Limitation of Actions in the City Code. Whereas at the May 5th, 2026 council meeting, Mayor Rice declared this public hearing open.
I don't have
Okay. Whereas members of the public, members of the Common Council, and all in attendance have been given an equal opportunity to express their written or oral comments regarding the proposed amendment to the city code. Whereas Mayor Rice asked for a motion to close the public hearing. May I have a motion?
Motion.
A second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council approves the proposed removal of section C-230B entitled Limitations of Actions in the City Code. May I have a motion?
Motion.
A second? Thank you. Roll call vote, first ward's excused, second ward,
Yes.
third ward,
Yes.
fourth ward,
Yes.
fifth ward,
Yes.
sixth ward,
Yes.
motion carried. Item number 7, public hearing relative to the amendment of Chapter 335, Article 1, fire lanes in the City Code. Whereas at a meeting held on April 21st, 2026, the City Clerk Chamberlain was authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on May 5th, 2026 in the Common Council chambers of the Municipal Building, Fulton, New York, relative to amending Chapter 335, Article 1, fire lanes in the City Code. Whereas at the May 5th, 2026 council meeting, Mayor Rice declared this public hearing open.
Chief Ketchum? So,
All right, so the amendment to the fire lane, the reason this came about is we started talking amongst ourselves, the common councilors, approaching me, with a few different things. So this was one of the first things, and the root of it is because the current language in the charter, chapter 335, is very, at some points, it's very rigid, very black and white, does not allow us to, forgive me, exercise common sense when it's maybe needed, and other parts of it are very vague. So it will tell you what definition means, but it doesn't tell you how it's interpreted or implemented. So we took a step back and issued a new guidance, and the true intent of this document is to provide the city's planning board, the city code enforcement bureau chief, or the fire chief to entertain complaints against, against the current charter or this charter. It allows us to entertain variances and issue variances. If there's a person out there, and we already heard that a lot of the old businesses and old areas are already grandfathered in. Holds true to this as well. But as new construction comes in, or possibly a business owner out there has just been dealing with something for a long time because this language does not allow us to really do much about their condition. So they can come up and appeal to us, we can entertain a variance and issue a variance if that person can articulate the fact that there has been some type of unfair or undue hardship placed upon that person's property or business due to this, right? And we consider it, we'll sit down, we'll talk about it. If it's legitimate, then we'll move on it. They will almost certainly get that variance. But for the new construction, as was said before, this is already laid out. This is how we're going to approach existing areas, existing neighborhoods, and existing structures. So that was the main intent of this. Anything else?
Thank you.
Yep.
So question, this is going to impact existing commercial zones right now?
Chief, sorry?
This is going to impact existing commercial zones.
How will it impact the existing?
Is it?
All right, so everything is going to be enforced the same way it was yesterday until those existing people, if they want to approach one of those bodies and appeal for a variance, they're more than welcome to.
I guess my question is, if you've got a strip mall, they've got a certain amount of parking spaces in front of the building, are we going to eliminate those parking spaces and enforce a fire lane all across the front of that building?
So there's guidance in here that's pulled right out of the New York State municipal laws and everything that's currently applicable from the New York State point of view. The beautiful thing about this one, I think, is the inclusion of the municipal home rule law, which allows the home team to make their own rules and apply them fairly. And that's the intent of this. If they do feel that they are experiencing some type of undue hardship because of this, because if you have a business that has 10 parking spots out front, and this says you need to put in a fire lane, you knock out 6 of the parking spots, so now they have a fire lane that they don't have any customers. That makes no sense. So that person will be able to come and apply for a variance, and one of those bodies, if not all of us, will consider it and we'll issue our findings. Does that answer what you had?
Yeah.
This policy in essence gives the fire department, fire marshal, more judgment.
Correct.
In
Yep,
terms
absolutely.
of common sense application of the day-to-day questioning.
It also issues that authority to the planning committee and the codes enforcement bureau.
Rather than say the only 2 lanes we have is Pathfinder Courts and Kmart.
Exactly. And rather than looking at the business owner and saying, I'm sorry, there's just nothing we can do. That's what it says in here, so that's why we changed it. Because we want to look at it through new eyes with common sense. Are we being fair? Are we creating an environment where that business can thrive? And if we start lining up a bunch of no's, then maybe the variance is exactly what we should be doing.
Appreciate the fact that you sent it to legal for review and they had no problems with their proposal.
This did go through the city attorney first, and he actually expressed the fact that he was impressed with the fact that we got away from no latitude was to be issued and brought the document to a place where we can exercise the variance process. So,
Is there property right now, or properties right now that are in dire need of a fire lane that doesn't currently exist?
not that I'm aware of. I think not to, I mean, I haven't been out there with a tape measure applying these standards to everywhere in town, but I'm not aware of one that is creating tremendous public safety issues because they do or do not have. But that's something we're going to get out in the streets over the summer. We're going to take a look because the old language lists out, focused very heavily on Pathfinder courts, but it lays out very few places in the city that need a fire lane. And it's just an old document, and a lot's changed since then.
Is this going to impact your side streets where there's limitations parking on both sides of the street, getting apparatus down through the street? Are we going to eliminate one side of the street from parking on certain streets in the city?
I'm going to do my due diligence, my homework. I'm going to present you, this body, with the information, and what you decide to do with it. It's going to be through the planning, through the advice of the planning committee, the codes person, and myself. We'll give you our opinions and the information, and I suppose you'll make the decision.
So the main gist, as we were talking earlier, we want to take the rigid state rules and give Fulton more say in these matters.
Absolutely. Because right now, the New York State stuff that is in here is written with language like shall, will, must. It just doesn't provide much wiggle room for anyone. It's as if we're babysat from out there. You got smart people right here. So. Good.
May I ask a question? I know you have a zoning board, a variance board, right? Yes. Does this bypass that variance board? Because you keep bringing up variance.
We have the authority to issue a variance through the planning committee, the fire chief, or the patrol people. That's what this document says.
And how does it differ from zoning variance?
Sure. Is it redundant, or is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
It may be redundant, but it's not a waste of time.
No, I didn't. I wasn't trying to say.
There's people out there that they're doing okay because that's the way they've always done it. They could be doing that. They could be doing that.
Yeah.
So it's the only thing I'm trying to say.
Yeah. The only thing I was saying was there's a variance board already in place. And why would, if you need a variance board,
It's not in this document.
It's my understanding that even the variance board, when the state regulation says this must be or this must not be, we're allowing the variance boards, along with the planning and the zoning, or planning and codes, and the fire department to say, we're taking out that state saying must, and we're going to let Fulton make some common sense decisions within Fulton, and we're going to untie the hands of the boards to now be allowed to make those decisions.
As fire marshal,
you can change it, or the.
he works, the fire marshal responsibilities fall under the codes bureau chief supervision. So I'm confident that the codes bureau chief would send it to planning or zoning or wherever he needs to get involved to get it passed.
Between the two.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, never happened on this phone, for sure. Yeah. You'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I said that was a good question.
Gotcha.
Whereas members of the public, members of the common council, and all in attendance have been given an equal opportunity to express their written or oral comments regarding the proposed amendment to the city code. Whereas Mayor Rice asked for a motion to close the public hearing. May I have a motion? Motion. A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council approves the proposed amendment, Chapter 335, Article 1, fire lanes in the city code. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Counselor Campolino, Counselor Conch. Okay, roll call vote. First ward's excused. Second ward?
Yes.
Third ward?
Yes.
Fourth ward?
No.
Fifth ward?
Yes.
Sixth ward?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, now we're on to the public comment period, agenda items only.
Jim Trowbridge, 505 Rochester Street.
Where is that up for past that?
Did you want to speak on numbers 8, 9, or 10?
No, that's all right.
Okay, that's okay.
That's all right.
So just you.
So on the agenda, so item number 9, the Fulton Fury baseball contract. So currently, we've been trying to negotiate agreements with all groups who use city facilities. Fulton Fury baseball uses the field at Foster Park. Item number 10, this is another property from the 2022 foreclosure list, looking for sale. It's 724 Ontario Street. I just want to point out to the council that this is another property with 0% listing broker commission on that with Century 21. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to untable resolution 7-13-2026.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. First ward's excused. Second ward? This is to untable the resolution. Yes. Third ward?
Yes.
Fourth ward?
Yes.
Fifth ward?
Abstain, please.
Sixth ward?
Yes.
Motion carried. Resolved that the mayor be authorized to execute an employment agreement with Chris Waldron, Director of Parks and Recreation. May I have a motion?
Move it.
A second? May I have a second?
Second?
Okay, roll call vote. First ward's excused. Second ward?
Yes.
Third ward?
Yes.
Fourth ward?
No.
Fifth ward?
Yes.
Sixth ward?
Abstain.
Motion carried. Any others?
I'd like to make a motion to untable resolution 7-14-2026.
Okay. May I have a second?
Second?
Roll call vote. First ward's excused. Second ward?
Yes.
Third ward?
Yes.
Fourth ward?
No.
Fifth ward?
Yes.
Sixth ward?
Yes.
Motion carried. Resolved that the mayor be authorized to execute an employment agreement with Pam Beeling, Personnel Administrator. May I have a motion?
Move it.
A second?
Second.
Roll call vote. First ward's excused. Second ward?
Yes.
Third ward?
Yes.
Fourth ward?
No.
Fifth ward?
Yes.
Sixth ward?
Abstain.
Motion carried. Item number 8, resolve to approve the common council meeting minutes. Resolve that the minutes from the April 21st, 2026 common council meeting are hereby approved and placed on file. May I have a motion?
Motion.
A second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Item number 9, resolve to authorize the mayor to execute an agreement with Fulton Fury Baseball. Resolve that the mayor be authorized to execute an agreement and all necessary documents to effectuate said agreement with Fulton Fury Baseball. May I have a motion?
Motion.
A second?
Second?
Thank you. Roll call vote. First ward's excused. Second ward?
Yes.
Third ward?
Yes.
Fourth ward?
Yes.
Fifth ward?
Yes.
Sixth ward?
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 10, resolve to authorize the mayor to execute an exclusive right to sell for 724 Ontario. Resolve that the mayor is authorized to enter into an exclusive right to sell contract with Century 21 Leah Signature for the sale of the city-owned property located at 724 Ontario Street, Fulton, New York, tax map ID number 236.49-01-14 from May 12, 2026 through November 12, 2026. May I have a motion? Motion. Second. Okay, first ward's excused. Second ward?
Yes.
Third ward?
Yes.
Fourth ward?
Yes.
Fifth ward?
Yes.
Sixth ward?
Yes.
Motion carried. All right, we'll have an open comment.
Sandy Rogers, West 4th Street.
Once again, I'm represented again, third week in a row. Nobody in the first ward can get a hold of our council at all. No text, no email, no phone calls, nothing. It's kind of a problem. What I'm really here to speak about tonight is the planning board meeting that was held on 4/27. The planning board chair had the audacity to ask a prospective business of selling stolen and/or fake merchandise. Is that how we treat new businesses? And then to have the others that were here during that planning board meeting to sit complacent and allow this to be said. Then they laughed about it. To me, that's an absolute outrage, very unprofessional. The planning board chair was instrumental in the DRI rezoning. Now you have to get a special permit to be downtown. This seems to be ludicrous. More policing with small business. Jumping through hoops just to open. This is not a thrift store, it is a reseller. Two different things. Seems very corrupt to me. The planning board chair has a tendency to display unprofessional and make snide remarks when he does his meetings. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Sandy. James Short, 836 West 3rd Street. Jeremy Mills, 259 7th Street.
Hi, just want to remind everybody, we have our USPS NELC food drive this Saturday. I put some cards up here at the front.
Okay.
You raise your mail carrier, comes through, leave your donations at the door of the mailbox and pick them up. And I spoke with Brandon, who's the posse with the food share program down on Oneida Street. The donations are going to go in this year. So it's good, probably good news.
Awesome. Thank you.
Brian Taylor.
Councilor Sherman, in regards to the police calls that were made at a certain address you were referring to, Lindsay and I have identified that issue that began at the beginning of the year, okay? With several hundred emergency services calls rendered to that specific address, okay? I do believe we did remedy the situation. We brought together DSS, myself, the chief, and the owner of the property to discuss how we can remedy the situation. I know that the police calls to that address were elevated during cold blue. Cold blue is when the temperature hits a certain area and unhoused people have to come off the street. Okay, it's the law. Okay. If you'd like, I can loop you in with any further conversations on this, just to keep you up to speed. I know it's your ward. I would like to keep you in the loop on this. Okay. As far as billing the county for services, I think that's opening a slippery slope for you, my friend, to do that. Especially if there's true emergency services that need to be rendered to that situation, a medical emergency. The last thing we want to do as a city is discourage people from calling 911 if there's a true emergency.
That's already happening at the motel. They're already discouraging those people that live there not to call.
I don't believe that's accurate, sir.
The management is doing it.
I don't believe the chief is disparaging anybody from calling.
And I didn't say the chief. I said the management at the hotel is doing that.
So there has been some recommendations made to the hotel owner. We pay them as a county, we pay them an exorbitant amount of money a year to house people who are unhoused, okay? It's several $100,000 a year. One of the recommendations made was to hire a private security firm to come in during the evening hours and try to dissuade people from calling emergency services if it's something that they can handle themselves in-house, all right?
I've actually witnessed some of the nonsense in the parking lot at that property. And this property isn't even in the top 3. It's probably in the top 10, but it's not in the top 3.
It's in the top 3 of our city, my friend. And that's something that we do need to rectify.
That's not what I saw the other night at the safety committee. That was not one of the properties listed in the top 3.
And what were the properties in the top 3? Were they other commercial?
So I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but I did specifically look for that property and it wasn't listed. I'm assuming it's in the top 10.
Sure.
But it was not listed on our sheet in the safety meeting that night. So
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this problem is probably countywide with all the hotels
Yep.
that the county does use to house certain people in certain circumstances. So, like I said, I'd be more than happy to look
but
at.
other areas are probably using like a volunteer corps as well. We have paid service.
Well, once again, I go out on a limb.
I'm here defending the.
Absolutely.
I represent the city of Fulton.
Absolutely.
You're here representing the county.
Absolutely.
And I'm saying it's costing the city a lot of money.
I understand that.
to handle it.
And trust me, I have the city at heart, my friend. I truly do. I identified this issue myself. It wasn't identified.
You're the only representative in the county that represents solely Fulton. The others are
Absolutely.
representing outside the city.
I understand that.
So I'm going to look for you. I'm going to come to you and
I'm
say,
here for you,
listen,
my
we
friend.
need help.
I'm
We need
here for
help.
everybody else in this room as well. I do want to get with you on this. We can discuss this. I'm sure we can come up with a remedy, and that's all I have there. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And so nobody else? All right, I'll hold the council, I'll start with Councilor Camp-Reed.
You said I had 2 days of meetings with Parks and Rec people, community people. Very exciting, there's more to come. The RC planning grant is in full swing and will be continued to be worked on by the chair committee people. 25 people will continue to fine tune the action plan that came out of the last 2 days of discussions for parks, recreation, and waterways, and some future funding opportunities for that, including our downtown area. And federal partners in Northern Border Regional, EPA, Forestry, USDA, terrific representatives from the federal government that have been here, spent here, and had great review of local Airbnbs. So thanks for that.
Councilor Patrick? Councilor Sherman?
Yeah, real quick. In the 4th Ward, we again had a situation at the hotel that's been ongoing for over the last year. The Mexican restaurant was in there. They were really struggling because of the environment that was going on. Their customers were not attending. They were losing a customer base. I got a call from the owner back in August regarding the situation over there. He said he had to get out as fast as possible. I did put him in touch with the owner of the River Vista building structure. The owner of that building was
somewhat receptive at first. He was concerned about the kitchen being on the lower level with the restaurant being upstairs. I suggested that he get together with the owner of the Mexican restaurant, Danny Yeska, his name is, and got them together, and they decided that it was going to be a good fit. It was no longer going to be a venue for banquets, although they could probably end up doing banquets in there as well. The place is huge. They're very happy that there are now business partners. It's saving them a lot of money monthly. Their rent went down in the new location, and they are doing one hell of a job tonight. I went by there earlier for Cinco de Mayo. There's parking's out to the road, so the customer base looks like they're going to return, and I wish them well in their endeavors over there. So they've been a very good addition to the community, and they're doing a great job. Their service is tremendous over there. So good for them. Thank you.
Thanks for your work that went hard. I know you worked hard. Appreciate it.
Councilor Merlino?
Yes, this past week, the Fulton Sunrise Rotary sponsored the first annual Best of Fulton banquet. It was a celebration of positive influences and movers and shakers in the city of Fulton. It was extremely well attended. The mayor gave a keynote speech, which was very, very uplifting. We thank him for that. And we can't wait to see what happens with the second annual Best of Fulton. Thank you.
Dennis, would you like to reveal the award winners for those who weren't there or maybe haven't seen it yet?
The ones I have that I can remember their names, there was Lakeview Lanes.
Yep, Lakeview Lanes, yeah.
Lakeview Lanes, Joe Cortini.
Yep.
The Alliance Church.
Episcopal Church.
Or Episcopal,
Yep.
I'm sorry, Episcopal Church.
Yep.
Like
Right
I said, I
next
can't
door.
remember their names.
Yep.
And the band director,
Carol Fox.
Carol Fox.
Yep.
That's the one I couldn't remember. And for a Lifetime Achievement Award. And just the entire atmosphere was so positive and so loving, and just so much gratitude for what these organizations have given to Fulton. These people have given to Fulton, and ways they have helped to improve the community and bring attention to the community, positive attention to the community. It was just a fantastic program.
Councilor Clance? I know you were there all the last 2 days.
I was. I was just going to piggyback on what Ron said. It's been quite impactful to be part of the RERC over the past couple of days. The outpouring from the community was incredible. The partnerships of especially the federal agencies that were present, I've made connections with them, having their emails, their phone numbers, that kind of thing to maintain communication. They're very excited to be working with us. Rhonda didn't mention it, which I'm kind of surprised, but one of the presenters, or facilitators, I should say, ended the meeting very emotional. She, I think, feels very connected already to the city of Fulton after being here for, just since Sunday. But it was, it put me in tears to see her in tears, only because someone who just met us, someone who just arrived in Fulton, has the same passion about our city that I do after 46 years. It was pretty awesome to see. But I hope that as we have more things going on with it, that we do see some more community members there, and we have a great opportunity to be able to talk about what do we want to see, where do we want to see it, how are we going to make it happen, who's going to be responsible for making it happen. there was just a lot of interaction and completely driven by the community with their support. And they made it very clear that they are our partners for life. And I think that for our small community, that is huge for us to have these federal partners, especially with the EPA, the USDA, all of those kind of federal partners who really do have connections to other federal partners. So it was a very impactful couple of days, and I'm grateful that we've had this opportunity and look forward to the next couple, 3 to 5 years to see the impact that it's going to have. And I hope that more people get involved with it. Thank you.
If I could ask you both, so eventually when the plan is developed, will the plan come to the residents of the city to weigh in on and review it?
Yes, there will definitely be more opportunity to
Yes.
have community input.
Yes.
We won't move forward without it.
And they were very open about making sure that they're going to send everybody who was in attendance all of the slides, all of the information, all of the work that we all did.
So if you were a community resident who came either the evening session or today's session and signed up and gave your email, you will get all the information that the rest of the committee will get.
I applaud the efforts of the steering committee that got put together. I know that you served on it, right? You served on it.
No, I did
So you didn't serve on the
No,
steering committee, so you're on the steering
On the
committee?
steering committee.
Yep. So it was really, really good for our city. Appreciate your efforts. I know that the Lions cleaned up at Voorhees Park on Saturday, and I was telling them about the Rotary event. I said, that's going to be tough to top, I know. So I put the challenge out to the members of the Lions Club that because I believe they want to make that annual event, that recognition. So anyway, all right. Nothing else?
One last thing. Memorial Day salute. We are looking for parade marshals. Get a hold of me. We need like 15 of them. So let me know if you would be willing to help out with that. It's all volunteers, so let me know. Thanks.
Are there emails on the website if people need it?
Yes.
On the website?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or they can call me.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried.